Did you know that nearly 57% of people experience what's called complicated grief? A deep, lasting sorrow that doesn't follow a set timeline? Yet so many of us feel pressured to move on quickly. But here's the truth. Grief is messy, painful, and deeply personal. If you've ever felt like no one truly understands what you're going through, you're not alone. Stay with me, because today we're diving into what the grieving process is really like, and what God's Word says about it. Hey everyone, welcome back to Just for Jesus. If you're new here, welcome. On this channel we talk about faith, life's struggles, and finding hope in Jesus. Today we're discussing a topic that so many wrestle with, grief. It's something we will all face, yet few of us feel prepared for it.
Here's something you may not have heard before. Grief doesn't have an expiration date. Have you ever been told, "Aren't you over it yet?" or felt guilty for still hurting? By the end of this video, you'll not only understand why grief doesn't follow a neat timeline, but you'll also learn how to find peace in the midst of it. There are so many misconceptions about grief. Society often tells us to get over it quickly or assume it follows a neat, linear process: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance. But anyone who has experienced deep loss knows that grief doesn't work that way. It's unpredictable. One moment, you feel okay, and the next, a simple memory brings a flood of emotions. Even in the Bible we see people grieving deeply. Jesus himself wept when Lazarus died. If Jesus, the Son of God, took time to grieve, why do we pressure ourselves to move on so quickly? What if grief isn't something to get over but something to walk through with God's help? Grief is different for everyone. Some days you might feel numb. Other days you might be overwhelmed with sadness or even anger. That's okay. Psalm 34 verse 18 tells us, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." Your pain is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign that you love deeply. It's also okay to struggle with faith during grief. Even biblical figures like Job and David questioned God in their suffering, but God never abandoned them, and He won't abandon you either.
I want to share a personal story with you. When my husband passed away, I felt like my world shattered. I was in denial, waiting for him to walk through the door. Then came the anger, at God, at life, at the unfairness of it all. Bargaining, depression, it all followed. But here's what changed everything for me. A friend who had also suffered a loss told me, "Grief is like a puzzle, and every piece you find helps you make sense of it." That hit me. I realized that I wasn't meant to figure it all out at once. And most importantly, I wasn't meant to do it alone. It reminds me of Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 1. "There is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under the heavens." Grief is one of those seasons, and while it may feel endless, God walks with us through each moment of it.
So let me ask you, what's one thing that has helped you through grief? Share in the comments below. Your words might encourage someone else.
Grief is a journey, not a destination. It doesn't mean you've lost faith, and it doesn't mean you're weak. It means you loved deeply. And through it all, Jesus is walking with you. If you found comfort in today's message, please hit that like button so more people can see this. And don't forget to subscribe for more faith-based encouragement. Remember, you're not alone. Jesus is with you. See you in the next one.